Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Nishinoya Yuu X Shy Male Listener. This one is titled Awestruck, and by the way, in this you are barely taller than Nishinoya, so if you're tall or if you're shorter than him, yikes, sucks for you, you're going to have to suck it up. Because that's how the story is, and yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Last name, first name, was seemingly a delinquent. He adorned multiple piercings, puncturing both of his ears, along with the rumors that he had chains at the ankles. Now, he wasn't actually a delinquent. He was just shy. Really, really shy. There was no way a hair-colored male actually liked the looks of disgust being shot at him with every step he took. But at least this way it would seem like he didn't care and that he was as intimidating as he looked. Although he was always called emotionless, that was quite the opposite. Despite the fact that it was mandatory to join a club, first name wasn't in one. He would have loved to be in one, namely the art club, but because of his reputation, he was rejected from every single club he tried to join. Oddly enough, the teachers loved him. He always brought his work in on time and had an average of over 85 in every single subject. There was also the fact that he was very charming in his own shy way. The principal, having found out about his predicament, let him off the hook without any extra questioning, but they did make a recommendation towards the boys' volleyball team. They're a good bunch, the principal said. If you need to go somewhere, they'll be there. At the time, first name doubted that there would be a group of people like that, but curiosity got the best of him, as it always did. Throughout the rest of his first year at Krasno, first name had ended up finding himself watching all of the practices and games that they had. On one day, he had gone to the gym, no one had noticed. Or on the first day he had went to the gym, no one had noticed, or at least they pretended not to notice. It happened more often than not, so he kept himself seated on a bench near the corner of the gym. He pulled out his book and started flipping through the pages, making small glances at the hard-working team while skimming the words. Physical activities weren't his forte, and he knew that he knew nothing about volleyball. But as practice progressed, he began to understand the sport more and more. First name was so absorbed in the small practice match they were having that he physically was startled when a boy, who was surprisingly shorter than him by a few centimeters, with spiky black hair, suddenly launched himself to dramatically receive a fast-paced spike, all while rolling thunder. Awestruck, first name shamelessly stared agape at the volleyball player for a good 15 seconds before looking away with tinted cheeks. For the rest of that particular practice, all he managed to do was gaze down at his hands, wondering how Cupid was real and how he was just struck directly in the heart. Time skip. Suga-senpai, who's that guy who keeps showing up at the gym? Hinata Shoyo asked. It was now first name's second year Krasno. Every day after school, he would poke his head in to see if Nishinoya was there. Most of the time, he was, but on rare occasion, he wasn't, and that was when first name made himself scarce. Sugawara glanced at the gym doors just in time to see first name's head. Oh my god! To see a color of blank hair whipping out, and to see. Oh my god! I'm so sorry. Sugawara glanced at the gym doors just in time to see a head of hair-colored hair whipping out of sight and smiled slightly. That's last name's son. He's a second year here. He responded. He watches all of our practice matches, but only if Nishinoya-san is playing. Who are you talking about? Tanaka asked absentmindedly. Tanaka casually asked, absentmindedly practicing receives with his eyes trailing the ball as it flew in the air and came back down. Last name, first name. Tanaka smirked. Oh yeah, Nishinoya's admirer. People don't really talk about him because he looks all scary with all those piercings and stuff. People say that he's the son of a Yakuza member. Oh yeah, and that he slept with like a bunch of girls, but I seriously doubt that one. Do you know him? A curious Hinata piped. Yeah, he's in my class. I talked to him a couple times, but he's actually really nice. I kind of wanted to set him up with Nishinoya. Tanaka mumbled the last part, but they already heard what he had said. Hinata thought for a moment. Should we invite him to our weekend training camp practice then? Good idea, but what should he do though? Sugawara asked. He could be another assistant manager or just an extra person or something. Tanaka grinned at the suggestion, getting a sudden idea as he snuck a glance at Nishinoya, who had just arrived. Hey, Noya, come here for a second. Yeah? Nishinoya quite literally slid into the conversation. You know last name, right? At the name, Nishinoya's face lit up with a mix of unreadable emotions. He nodded. Yeah, why? We're supposed to be bringing 5 extra people other than, real players, and I realized that we were short a person. Do you think that we could ask last name to come along with us? He's always around anyways. He's basically a part of the team at this point. Tanaka and the rest awed internally when Nishinoya's face became even redder. After a moment of awkwardness for Nishinoya, he shifted his weight onto the other side of his foot and responded with a not so cool and not so composed, yeah, I'll ask him during lunch tomorrow. Time skip. First name sighed as a bell rang. Around him, his fellow students grabbed their lunches and scrambled out of the classroom in the blink of an eye, dashing away from their dreaded history lesson that wasn't quite finished yet. The teacher was still pointlessly yelling after them. Sensei, I'd like to stay and hear the rest, please. First name stated. He was trying to aim for the top spots in his exams after narrowly missing it the last time. The teacher sighed and turned to YN, or first name, with a smile. Honestly, kids these days. First name, I feel like you're the only one who appreciates my teaching. Why aren't you in honors classes or something? You would do really well there. First name smiled, although he eternally sweat dropped. He didn't like school all that much, and he didn't exactly like the snobs that were in all of those advanced classes, so that made them a no-go. I mean, learning was fun as long as he was interested, but otherwise, he only paid attention because he was bored. I don't know really, he said sweetly, although both of them knew that it was because of his lack of attendance for the classes he didn't like. The teacher laughed as she collected her books. Well, I'll finish the chapter next time, okay? Go eat your lunch. I think that there's someone waiting for you at the door. Oh, really? His eyebrows shot up in surprise. No one had ever done that before. Without another word from the male, he suddenly grabbed his lunch and swiftly walked out of the classroom. Nishinoya-san? A sudden blush decided that it would be the perfect time to show. He stuttered as he trailed off, not knowing exactly what to do or say. What are you doing here? First name managed to get out, followed by a moment of inner paranoia. What if that sounded rude? Fortunately, Nishinoya didn't find it rude at all, and was now currently captured in the adorable embarrassedness that was now first name. Well, I was, wondering if you would, want to have lunch with me? The stiffness and awkwardness of that moment was erased by the small, shy smile that adorned first name's face. Sure, he said quietly. I wouldn't mind. It was at this moment that Nishinoya EXE had stopped working. His heart clenched as he gave in and started leading the way towards the outdoor bench of the school grounds. Behind him, first name hummed happily. Behind him, first name hummed a happy tune so quietly that it was almost inaudible. The lunch hour was spent with displaced conversations and long stretches of awkward silence as both of them quietly chewed on their food, both feeling too awkward to start talking about something other than volleyball or things like the weather or what they plan to do when they graduated high school. So, last name. You can call me first name if you want. He interrupted. Oh, okay. First name, would you like to come along with our weekend training camp? It starts on Friday, and we come back on Sunday. Apparently we need an extra person to come along. Nishinoya leaned over while tilting his head and looking at first name. With you? Wyan sputtered out. Sure, I would love to, but what would I do? I don't really know anything about volleyball, Nishinoya-san. Noya grinned. You. First name was shocked I stay messing up the fucking lines. I didn't even have a fucking word there, oh my god. First name looked confused for a second before realizing that Nishinoya was allowing him to call him by his first name. And now another blush made its way onto his cheeks. You could probably just help the managers or something. They always have their hands full. First name smiled. Later, Nishinoya described it perfectly to his friends as a smile that was a gift from the angels and gods above. Time skip. First name was late. Very, very late. He was supposed to have things and be there, but he was supposed to have his things and be there by 6:30 a.m. at the same time the volleyball team usually started their practice. It was 6:25, and by the time he was out of the door, It was 6:25 by the time he got out of the door, and it was normally a 5 or a 15-minute walk there, maybe 5 if he sprinted. So with a piece of overly burnt toast hanging out of his mouth and his bag packed of few necessities slung over his shoulder, Wyan ran faster than he had ever run before. When he arrived, there was 5 people waiting at the bus: Sugawara-senpai, Sawamura-senpai, Asahi-senpai, and 2 managers. Panting, First Name ran up to them. Am I late? Sugawara sighed. No, not at all. We're actually arriving earlier because we knew that everyone would probably be late. We're not actually leaving till 7. Oh, thank God. Wyan sighed in relief as he sunk to his knees. I thought I was late, he murmured, glancing at the managers. Yachi jumped in surprise. Scary, she whispered loud enough for everyone to hear her. What? First Name looked like a kick puppy that was often... What? First Name looked like a kick puppy, but he got that too often to be hurt by it. Sorry, Hitaka-san. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm just here to, aid the trip. He bowed his head slightly in the manager's direction, fiddling with his fingers awkwardly. Here comes everyone else. Daichi thankfully provided a distraction. First Name's head perked up, scanning the group of oncoming volleyball players for a head of spiky hair. Kyoko-chan! A certain duo yelled, obsessing over the beautiful manager. First Name felt a pang in his heart as he watched Nishinoya happily lunge at the poor girl. He stood beside them as Kyoko escaped narrowly from them and silently dragged the anxious Yachi to a quieter corner. Oh, First Name! Nishinoya finally noticed him and bounded over with the energy that only he could possess. Are you excited? I'm so excited. I really want to show you how awesome I am. Wouldn't I have already seen how amazing you are? I mean, I've been to most of your practices and games. Nope. Nishinoya shook his head. I still haven't shown you everything yet. First Name laughed and attempted to match Nishinoya's enthusiasm. If you say so. Come on, everybody, we're leaving now, Coach Yuka yelled, interrupting everyone's conversations. Time skip. The training camp went smoothly, and First Name couldn't remember the last time he had so much fun. During the practices, he would run around filling and refilling water bottles as he started dishing out new towels as well. Since everybody was used to him and knew him fairly well by then, they all realized that the rumors that they were all fretting over before were all false, and were a little bit ashamed of themselves. Sunday evening came, and much to his disappointment, it was his turn to make dinner. The second practice was over. First Name shut himself in the kitchen and started making the feast for the hungry volleyball players, politely turning down the offers to help from the other 2 managers. The only apron hanging from the wall was an adorable pink frilly one. First Name didn't have a problem with it, so he just slipped it on over top of his t-shirt and sweatpants as he tied it to his back, his hands clasping together. Let's get to work then. Around an hour later, all the food was done Around an hour later, the food was all done as he had started to move the food into the dishes and take it to the cafeteria. The sound of the door opening startled him as he turned on his heel with a look of surprise on his face. Oh, you-san? A blush bombarded Wyan's face as Nishinoya's hair was dripping wet. He had just gotten out of the bath. Your hair's down, First Name stated in First Name stated the obvious and whispered, cute. Nishinoya made no remark in return. All he could do was stare at First Name in a cute, frilly apron. First Name sputtered as he realized that he was still wearing the apron. Sorry, I didn't know I was still wearing it. His hands went to take it off, but they were grabbed with another pair. He looked up, only to meet intense amber eyes staring up into his own, just barely inches away from his face. You-san? Whatever gap was between them dispersed as Nishinoya leant in and claimed his prize. First Name was paralyzed, but after a few seconds of confusion, a sensation of pure, unbridled happiness washed over him. You should definitely keep that apron, Nishinoya teased in a quiet tone as he pulled away. First Name could only nod in agreement as he leant against Nishinoya for support as his legs gave out. First Name believed that everyone had one thing. first name believed that there was always one thing in everyone's life that never failed to make them awestruck. He couldn't lie. There was only one thing in the world that made him this awestruck. Nishinoya Yuu. And then there's an extra bit. Why are you blushing? Nishinoya exclaimed at the extremely red first name. I'm the one who's supposed to be blushing. I just confessed my love for you. I know, first name whined. I love you too. Oh my god, that was so cute. Oh my god, whoa, that was so adorable. What? Anyways, yeah, if I saw Nishinoya lunging at Kyoko, I would have been like, bitch, get off my man. That's like me whenever I see Hinata blush at Kyoko in the show. Like, I'm like, Kyoko, stop pulling the whole team. Like, literally, like, 6 dudes like her. Like, what? Swerve. Anyways, that was so cute. That was literally the cutest thing I've ever read in my whole life. Like, that was so adorable. Seriously, though, like, y'all can't see me right now, but I'm having a little fangirl moment. Anyways, let's finish up the video, guys. If you guys did like the video, make sure you subscribe and have the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. And also like the video because it does something for the YouTube algorithm. And also comment down below some other characters you want me to do. And I'll try my best to do them for you guys in the next video. I hope you guys don't mind the male readers I'm doing, but us guys, we deserve more male listeners, so I'm here to deliver. And I know girls are still gonna watch this, but this was cute as fuck. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Oh, I did that a little too loud, didn't I? Thank you guys for watching. Hope you had a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.